Well, hello everyone. Is like here to show you the Big Bird imaginary friend coloring right here. As you see, this is for us talking about with the ABCs, and then along right here you got the imaginary friend. Of course, that I went ahead and colored right here, and I'm sure that maybe a few of us have had imaginary friends, or if you still have an imaginary friend, or you should say is so far as the key definition so far as for imaginary friend is basically about this person who's exists, and you say in your own imagination, who apparently would most students, most people would probably have them whenever they were younger, and maybe they were shy, and they didn't like being around a whole lot of people, or I should say, and that you would have them, and that that's a certain time that you would give it a name, as you say, and then just picture in your mind about what an imaginary friend looks like, as it so far as it's like with the the hair, and then along with the clothes it was wearing, you say is so far as like you want to walk, go out and take a walk with me or something like that, but. This activity right here I came up with imaginary friend is basically what I think is for the for the ABCs, and of course the word caution. The word caution, you say, represents, is like, I remember whenever I was in that fourth grade, it was that I had problems pronouncing, you say, the word caution. I had problems saying it, and after about the third or fourth time, I finally got right. But I remember whenever I got wrong those couple of times, they would have me write it 5 times. You say on the chalkboard, you say the normal stuff that the teachers would do. But right here, as you see right here, is you got these little sentences right here, and of course right here is that I would probably say that whenever I was in the first grade, that I remember that these are the types of forms that they would give you a lot of times. And of course, these lines look big, but of course, one, I made them big so that way everybody here can see. And 2 is that they would measure at about this size right here. Is that you get that this line right here, in which a lot of people would probably say that whatever line that it's supposed to be, if it's supposed to be, say, the diagonal, say like kind of like an equator or something like that, to where that if you were to write on a line, that the lowercase letters would have to go in between would have to curve about right. Let's just say if I were to write a G right here, if I were to write a G, and of course for a lowercase G, is that the G would go about right, and then leave some space right here, and for the capital G, and G is for good, you say, and but these are the kinds of lines that they would give to you, and so far with T, and of course it's like if I were to write, it's like it's like for good morning. It's like I remember whenever I would go to school, it's like every day whenever I would go to school, a lot of times that they would want you to say stuff like good morning. Is like for good morning class. So you go ahead and write it all in there. So good morning, and then of course that you have it till you get these lines. And I remember whenever I was in school that they would have you do this, that they would have you write on these lines, not maybe not that big, and maybe not all that difficult, as you say, but this is the way that they kind of teach me about how to write lowercase and uppercase letters, is make sure that you fit them in between these lines, and measured, would you say, is by about with this amount of inches of millimeters, like to make sure that they don't go past some certain angle of the line. But of course that so where with imaginary friend is that you have it to where you get the song right here, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard the ABCs number of times, E F G H I J K L M N O P. But then after Y and Z, a lot of times you would see that that song synonym for, and now I know my ABCs, and next time won't you sing with me? And you begin to wonder, is that I would think that I probably got my idea from an imaginary friend so far with learning my ABCs. Is like I would say that I would imagine it and then give it a name, you say, and more like, I don't know if it was Colton, but it was a name that I really I don't know if I would say too embarrassed to share it or whatever, but more likely I would probably say that his like his name was Kevin. He says Kevy or something like that, but Kevin, and then Marcus, and you say that I had you say imaginary friend by those names, and of course that with the ABCs, you begin to wonder about that's how I got the idea of my imaginary friend. It's like for A as an apple, is like gonna give you an ideas for whatever imaginary friend is like is the type of friend who wants to do stuff with you, or you say, or that see as B. You say B. So a lot of people probably say A as an apple, and then I think it goes E T or something like that as an Indian. But anyway, B as in bee, I would probably say that like a honeybee. Draw like a little honey bee right here. B as in bee, as in a honeybee. And of course it goes of course see here, go ahead and use and then C as in cat. Go ahead and use cat right here, but of course a cat really would not be too much imaginary. More like a lot of people would probably say that if you really wanted one, then maybe you would imagine having one. Say C as in cat. You get the happy tail right there. C as in cat. But other than that, is like with the ABCs, you begin to wonder next time won't you sing with me, that a lot of ways it's like sing with who? So sing with who? It's like with my reading glasses, right here, then you begin to wonder. It's like sing with who? And like there's nobody here to sing with. But more likely, you could probably say that for the song synonym is that if you were to say your ABCs, then more likely that you would think about is that you think about the best ways to memorize a lot of stuff is what the B, and then along with the C, D as in dog, you say, and then along with E as in elephant, you say. But it's like C could also maybe stand for for credit. It's like for say P as for points, you say. And but a lot of times that you probably say that with the ABCs that I would probably say that that they weren't as complicated a lot of times as math was. I would probably say that language arts and spelling, I guess, was not really one of my most difficulties, such as math, and then of course science also. Science, I think, was one of the worst subjects. Was one of them one subject that I didn't like the most. But so far with Big Bird, is you have it to where it's like with Big Bird that we all know is like, so far as with like the TV show cartoon characters say, that is like Colton is like could be also known as like what you say is between a real and in fact a lot of times people probably say imaginary friends. A lot of times they are known as not real, just by imagination. But then one other thing to remember by is that they can maybe be real if they ever one of these days become a character on a cartoon TV show or something like that. It's kind of it's like if you want to do the animation, and maybe do the voice credit for it. But so far with me, that I would probably say that that would you do anything? Would you do anything to satisfy a lot of to entertain a lot of younger kids. It's like young